Greetings, Divine Radiance. I am Nahkila Isha of Ashmore Scott Life Sculpting. I am a divine interpreter interpreting messages and methods from the divine that empower you to create and live an abundant life. So today I will be doing a pick a card reading, and your choices are pile A, B, or C. So what I'd like you to do, unless Spirit is just screaming at you and telling you which pile to pick, to go ahead and take a few deep breaths, inhaling slow and deep through your nose and exhaling slowly out your mouth, and then allow yourself to be led on which pile to pick for you, A, B, or C. Now the question is, what would your guides like you to know? What message do your guides have for you right now? So I'm going to go ahead. This is where if you're being led to pause the video to select, go ahead and pause it now, and then I'll go ahead and get into it. But before we get into it, I'd like to ask for a favor. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. And if your message resonates, please give me a thumbs up. I love those, and also comment to let me know how so. Okay, thank you so much. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first group is pile A. And what would your guides like you to know? So when I started, Spirit said you are reading reversals, and pile A, your first card came in upside down, and it's divine talents. What Spirit is telling you, and look at that moon. Okay, I know that the message here is timeless, and whenever you receive this, it is going to serve you in that moment. But let me just say right now, we're still in the energy of this Virgo full moon in 2018, and the moon is so beautiful. I literally just got home, but before I did, I stopped and I just connected with the moon's energy and all of my guides. And this moon, where is it? Here. It's just so amazing. So literally what Spirit is saying to you, pile A, is that you have all of these divine gifts and talents, but it's coming in upside down because for some of you, you're not utilizing them. And for those of you that think you are, you have just barely scratched the surface. Spirit is saying it's time for you to dig deeper, and it's time for you to fully activate your gifts. It's time for you to utilize your free will and set the intention to receive your gifts fully. But when you do this, have the intention to step up and use them. You're being called to be in service. You're being called to dig deep and figure out what it is you came here to do and do it. Okay, so your next message is grounding. Go deep, explore your roots. So this has double meaning. For some of you, most of you, Spirit is saying physically, literally ground. Ground yourself regularly. And it's also saying what we were just saying, it's time to go deep. It's time to figure out who you are on a soul level. It's time to figure out what you've done in all of your lifetimes that qualify you to do what you're called to do in this lifetime. Because sometimes we ask, why me? And other times we ask, how me, right? But if you knew exactly what your spiritual resume looks like, you would never ask, why me, or even how me. You would be fully empowered and in your confidence to do what you came here to do. So Spirit is saying for you, it's time for you to figure this out. For some of you, that may be a past life reading. And if it is, check out the description box, schedule a reading with me. For others of you, it's about connecting to your guides and receiving direction on what you're called to do and how it relates to what you've always done in all of your previous lives. I'm hearing there's gonna be commonality, common ground in what you've done and what you're called to do. And so pile A, your final message in regards to what your guides would like you to know is embrace adventure in your life. Jesus said, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to those whom are like these children. So the message that's coming through is for you to not be afraid to explore who you are. And as I'm receiving this message and I'm looking at the picture, Spirit is saying, look at the picture. If you look at the picture, how the person in the picture is looking to the divine source of highest light and love for inspiration, for power. That dove represents the angels, the guides that are here to help you and guide you. And that light represents the collective of your spirit team that's here to guide you. Now that dove also represents peace, right? Because when you're guided, there's peace. Also, when you look at the light coming from the person's head and hands, when you activate your free will to receive that guidance, you become empowered and filled with the light of the divine. So you're being called to be adventurous enough to explore exactly what you're here to do. And also, Spirit is saying, in the literal sense, it's time for you to have fun. It's time for you to be adventurous. So if you've been staying at home, twiddling your thumbs, doing nothing, or if it's been all work and no play, Spirit is saying it's time for you to get out there and have some fun. Have some fun. And for those of you that are new on your spiritual journey and path, I know that when you first become acclimated with this new way of life, sometimes you go into this cocoon because as you're releasing and shedding your old self, you're rediscovering things that you enjoy that serve your highest good and things that aren't in that self-destruction, self-sabotage realm, right? And Spirit is saying it's safe now for you to go out and venture out and discover exactly what it is that you enjoy, okay? So that was pile A. So let's go ahead and move on to pile B. What is it that your guides would like you to know? Now, first card, yours came in upside down, and it is Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. So as I'm reading this, Spirit is saying it is time for you to tap into your divine feminine. Don't view yourself as weak. Don't view yourself as less than. When you are acting in your divine feminine, it is that nurture that is going to help you heal. It is that part of you that is going to help your divine masculine step up in a way that is peaceful, in a way that is courageous, and in a way that is confident without putting on a false mask of machoism, if that's even a word. But basically, Spirit is saying that it's all about embracing your divine feminine. We've been taught that being feminine, nurturing, caring, loving is a weakness. And then we've been taught that when we're in touch with our masculine, and right now this is coming through for the women that are watching, we've been taught that it's too much. And for you men that are watching, when you're in touch with your feminine side, you're taught there's something wrong, there's something soft, there's something weak, right? But what we're being called to understand is that we all have divine feminine energy within. We all have divine masculine energy within. And Spirit is saying, bring forth a balance. So for those of you that pick pile B, you're operating more so in your divine masculine, and Spirit is saying to balance that out. And by doing so, you will be granted another layer, another level of wisdom, another layer, another level of wisdom. So your next card is, oh, this one came in upside down too. And it is Uncover Treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. So let me just back up, because I'm saying, oh, it's upside down, like you all know what that means. You may be new to this and you may have no idea, and I'm sitting here like you do. So if it comes in reverse, it means that Spirit is drawing attention to it. It's either an area that can use improvement, an area that you're being called to heal, release. And so what Spirit is telling you is it's time to go deep. Stop being on the surface, because below the surface is where the treasure is. Below the surface is where you are going to find the solution to those things that plague you. Beneath the surface is where your grace is. Beneath the surface is where your light is. And sometimes it's buried by circumstances, it's buried by experiences, it's buried by trauma and pain. And Spirit is saying to dig beneath that, dig beneath those layers and get to the treasure. Because when you dig, and you know, when you dig and you dig in the dirt and you're throwing it over your shoulder, well, it's discarding it, right? And when you get to the treasure, life is going to change for you in so many ways, in abundant ways. And that treasure is your true self. That treasure is being connected to your higher self, being connected to divine source of highest light and love. But first, you got to dig deep. So Spirit says, stop operating from the surface level. Some of us are operating in materialistic things because we feel like our worth and our value comes from what we have materialistically. And Spirit is saying those things mean nothing. Yes, they may bring you pleasure. Yes, they may bring you joy. But when we get down to what really matters and what really counts. If you ask yourself, if I had no one or nothing in this world, and that movie with Tom Hanks, Castaway, I believe it was called, think about that. If you were on a deserted island and it was nothing but you and your material things, would you be happy? Would you feel peace? Would you feel content? And if the answer is no, then you see the value in these material things. They're like icing on the cake or cherry on top of the icing, but it's not the cake itself. So if you got that, Spirit is saying you're putting a lot of emphasis on surface things. And it's so much deeper. As it relates to love, I'm being told to mention this. Some of you are so focused on a person's appearance or a person's position or their job or what can they do for me. And Spirit is saying it's so much more than that. Because what can you do for you? You don't bring someone in to do for you. You bring someone in to collaborate with you and enhance what you're already doing. And they may not necessarily be at your level or beyond, but that doesn't mean that they cannot enhance, right? So if you think about it, you are the table. They may just bring a chair, but what's a table without a chair? If you got to stand at the table and eat, what's the point in having a table, right? So Spirit is telling you to go deep. So your last card is walk away from illusions and towards truth. Show me the right path, O Lord. Point out the road for me to follow. So again, you know, we got the first card that spoke about, where did that second card go? Oh, here it is. It was sitting right here on my solar plexus. So we got the first card that talked about your divine feminine and releasing those false images of what it means to embrace that. Then you got the card about going below the surface to find the treasure. Well, now it is saying walk away from illusions and towards truth. So your whole message right now is really about piercing the veil, removing yourself from the matrix and asking your divine highest light guides to show you truth, help you to really understand what the meaning of life is, right? Because right now your focus and your priorities are a bit out of whack. And Spirit is saying it's time to prioritize, but you cannot prioritize using the same priority system that you've been using all along. The only way you prioritizing is going to make a difference is if you change your priorities. So in order to realize what really matters, it's going to call for you to heal. It's going to call for you to go deep. It's going to call for you to release. It's going to call for you to connect with your spirit team of highest light and love for guidance and direction. And if you'd like for me to help you with that connecting, check out the description box and schedule a personal reading. So that is your message, pile B. And if this resonated with you, please do a thumbs up and leave me a comment to let me know how so, okay? Thank you so, so much. Now we're going to move on to pile C. What message do your guides have for you? What message do they have for you? So your first card came in upside down, reversed, is Ascension, the Rainbow Bridge. Okay, so what I literally heard is you are slowing your ascension down by refusing to see the bridge. And as I'm saying that, I am being told that just like a rainbow has different colors, so does your journey. So there may be a day where you're feeling yellow, full of sunshine. There may be a day where on your journey, you're feeling blue, filled with sadness. There may be a day where you're feeling purple, worthy as all get out. And there may be a day when you're feeling red, just mad at the world. But all of these experiences create your rainbow bridge, which helps you to heal and ascend. And so Spirit is telling you to change how you're viewing your experiences. Allow your experiences to be that bridge that takes you deeper, higher into your ascension. Okay, very quick and to the point message there. So your next card is with God, all things are possible. And so what the card itself says is, if you have faith, even as small as a mustard seed, you could say to the mountains, move from here to there, and it would move. So for all the other piles, this card came through last, but for you, it came through second, this card from this deck. And so Spirit is telling you, it's time for you to have faith. It's time for you to have faith in your ability to connect with divine source of highest light and love. It's time for you to have faith in your ability to manifest all that your soul desires. It's time for you to see yourself as you truly are and see yourself as someone that is worthy of God's grace. Okay, thank you. So, and that's it. That's all that that card is saying. Your guides had a very clear and specific message for you. Now, your final card also came in upside down. My clothes are just all funky. All funky. I'm just a mess right now, but hey, whatever. So, your last card is unknown territory. You are exactly, I'm not going to even say need, because need is lack. For those of you that are new to the channel, you'll find I'm super big on lack language versus abundance language. And when we declare need, what we're saying is I need, and spirit is responding, the universe is responding and giving us more need, right? More to need. But when we say it serves my highest good, it shifts the vibration and it shifts what we receive. So you are exactly where you're called to be. You are exactly where it serves your highest good to be. You get the picture. So spirit is telling you, as you venture into the next phase of your ascension, understand that whatever happens or doesn't happen, whatever comes or goes, it is exactly where your soul agreed to be right now. When you can shift your perception of how you're viewing each and every moment, you will speed up the process of your ascension. Or if you look at it as woe is me or woulda, coulda, shoulda, you're slowing it down or pausing it or stopping it altogether. So spirit is saying to be in flow, and being in flow means acceptance, accepting your reality for what it is, not the illusion that we've been fed or shown, but your reality, your actual truth, just being in flow, being in, I don't know why grace keeps coming up, but being in grace. Okay, so that is your message from your guides, Pal C. And so I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. If this resonated, leave a thumbs up. Please, I love those. And leave me a comment to let me know how it resonated. And if you didn't already subscribe, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and be sure to ding the bell so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so very much. I leave you with peace, love, bliss, and abundance. I'll talk to you soon.